summer 2023 and the flavor of this era is fresh. Everyone's coming with something new that only very rarely lasts. For me, World of Warcraft has always been a place that I could come back to and find my characters as they were when I left them, on a populated server. Unfortunately, these days, most of what we have are new fresh servers, starting with big hype and then dying soon after, with you either losing your characters altogether since the realm gets deleted, or having the characters on a dead realm with no use. That is why I appreciate servers with longevity and long-term popularity even more. There are only very few, but there are some. First that will come to mind is Warmane's Wrath of Lich King realms that have existed for about 8 years now. I'm not counting its predecessor Molten WoW since those characters were deleted in 2015, but being alive for 8 years and actually having thousands of players online every single day is nothing short of amazing. No other World of Warcraft private server will allow you to play any kind of content even outside the peak hours, mornings, evenings, no matter what time zone you live in. It has 3 Wrath of Lich King realms to choose from, each catered to a different audience. Blackrock for instant max level PvP, Lordaeron for close to Blizz-like experience with ×1 XP rates, and Icecrown with ×7 XP rates, and probably the most players you will ever see on any private server realm. The Frostmourne realm that existed since 2020 is now gone. It was a great place with seasonal gameplay combining the fresh hype with longevity through character transfer to the Icecrown realm once Frostmourne's cycle would be over. Warmane is not perfect though, and even its huge successes on the Wrath of Lich King expansion weren't reflected as much on their Mists of Pandaria and TBC realms. Frostwolf, Warmane's Mists of Pandaria realm, which is still up, is dead with almost no players on it, and their TBC realm from years ago was deleted. And then there are issues with ganking low-level players, toxicity, multi-boxing, and cheating. It is also extremely difficult for a new player to catch up upon reaching max level, since the majority of people playing on Warmane are veterans with best-in-slot characters. Another amazing private server project not known for its amazing scripting, but their ability of releasing the newest current World of Warcraft expansion on a private server in decent quality with thousands of players. It should be clear now that I'm talking about Firestorm. It is currently on the Shadowlands expansion with Dragonflight already in works, and this is not an official confirmed info, but I think realistically launching the Dragonflight expansion towards the end of this year. You get your characters copied over to any new expansion that Firestorm launches, so you never lose all that hard work you put in perfecting your characters. Oribos, their Shadowlands realm, reaches up to around 3,000 to 4,000 players daily at peak. It has a huge international population, so there's a good chance no matter what country you come from, you might be able to find people that speak your language. As I said, it's not the best scripted, but it's good enough. Annoying bug here and there, but you will still be able to solo many of the old raids and dungeons for transmog. Probably the biggest criticism would be the pay to win on Firestorm. Literally every single thing you can think of is on their shop, purchasable for real money with frequent discounts on their donate currency. It went so far that I even quit the server after they released the BFA expansion a few years back. That's when they got rid of the character auction on the website and instead started pushing loot boxes and buying gear pieces individually on their shop. The most famous Mists of Pandaria private server and one of the best scripted servers overall, Tauri. With its sights at the Legion expansion being probably just around the corner, Tauri has always been an amazing choice, first for Hungarian players mostly, but then around 2018 its Evermoon International realm started blowing up and taking over. Tauri is known as a Mists of Pandaria server since maybe around 2015, but not many people know it's actually a progressive server. It was on Cataclysm before, and probably even Wrath of Lich King and maybe TBC, with your characters being transferred over to the new expansion every time. And that is what's gonna happen come Legion time too, so you don't lose your progress but can continue with your decade-old characters. Tauri got stuck on Mists of Pandaria for a bit too long. These days it barely reaches up to 1,000 players online, which is very constricting. You can't do much other than solo content on their realms at this point. And an extremely comparable private server project to Tauri is TwinStar, a very similar story, starting with TBC maybe around 13 years ago, starting as a Czechoslovak server only, but then becoming the best Cataclysm private server for a few years, especially with the launch of Hades in 2018, making TwinStar go full-on international. It also went through Wrath of Lich King to Cataclysm, and now only recently launching Mists of Pandaria on the server, with your characters always transferring to the newer expansion. So much like Tauri or Firestorm, your progress is never lost and your memories are still there, saved on your characters. TwinStar was also my very first World of Warcraft private server that I ever played on, and I couldn't be happier making a choice where all my characters are still saved and playable even now, a decade later. Unfortunately, similar to Tauri, not only in the good things, but in the bad too. TwinStar got stuck on the Cataclysm expansion for 9 years, and although they revived the interest in their project a few times by creating fresh Cataclysm experience on their Hades, Apollo 2 and Apollo 3 realms, it was just a big hype met with incompetence and lack of resources. The servers would lag, crash, suffer of faction imbalance, even have queues upon login, to then scaring players away from the server within a few weeks of its existence. Now that the Mists of Pandaria expansion was finally finished and released on TwinStar earlier this year, this was a chance to revitalize the project once again. Many old players and familiar faces came back after many years, only to be met with the same fate. Now the Mists of Pandaria realm reaches maybe up to around 1,000 players, and its Cataclysm realm that still exists is mostly dead. And one last mention, although I have no idea when this project first came out, is Ascension. I've been hearing about it since maybe 2020 through Facebook ads at first. It is extremely popular. People are actively playing even low-level content. I visited the server maybe about a year ago for a few days. It is custom classless World of Warcraft project, so it's nothing you'd see anywhere else. And I found it a bit too overwhelming, far from what I'm used to. But I can see why many people like it, and it is one of the very few projects that have the funding and are able to promote themselves on an entirely different level compared to its competition. I think the future of Ascension is bright and can't wait for their Conquest of Azeroth realm to finally release. These were my top 5 World of Warcraft private servers overall. Historically, all of these have proven themselves, and they have been doing a solid job for so long. I don't see any of them going away anytime soon. Thank you to Warmane, Ascension, Firestorm, Tauri and TwinStar for capturing the true essence of what World of Warcraft private servers should be. And although none of these are perfect, it is still commendable what they were able to do, and I would recommend these over any hyped fresh project. If you want to see more YouTube content from these servers, let me know in the comments. Press the like and subscribe, because it looks like I will finally be able to live stream actively again since I'm getting fiber. See you in the next video.